and in today's tutorial, it happens to be the continuation of the course FMC215. And we're going to be talking about sound components. With this being said, let's go straight into it. Okay, so we have the course code as FMC. Okay, FMC215. And when we're talking about sound components. Now, when we talk about sound components, don't forget, all right, in our retrospective class, perhaps I should remind us very quickly, in our retrospective class, we talked about the camera, we talked about the studio, all right, and how to make the studio, all right, ready for production. In line with all of that, we talked about the lighting and the different types of light. All right. In line with all this, we are going to be talking about sound components as well. Okay. So when we talk about sound components, what are we referring to? Now, when we say sound components, just a moment, we are simply talking about, all right, when we say sound components, we are simply referring to certain elements. All right, we are simply referring to certain elements like dialogue, ambience. All right, elements like dialogue, ambience, room tone. All right, dialogue, ambience, room tone, and all right, we have environment. Okay, now this ambience is split into two. We have supporting ambience and we have environment ambience. So very quickly, let's look into all of this. Now, all of these are referred to as the components of sound. Now, very quickly, let's talk about capturing, all right, capturing sound elements on location. Highly essential. Now, when we talk about capturing sound elements on location, there are different practices and procedures to be adopted when capturing various elements of sounds. All right, are we on the same page? There are different things you need to observe when capturing, okay, when capturing various elements. Okay, now this is, all right, referred to as, all right, the process that involves you adapting, all right, when capturing various elements of sounds. Now, to look at, very first, we have recording dialogue. All right, like we said earlier, dialogue. So when we say recording dialogue, what are we referring to? Recording dialogue means, all right, when you use the camera mounted mic, all right, and handheld mic, all right, to extract, all right, to get your recording. Okay, when you use what we refer to as, all right, the use of the camera mounted mic, okay, the likes of the handheld mics, all right, when you intend to capture these audios of this dialogue, all right, sound we are simply referring to as the sounds. Now, recording supporting or ambience, this is audio recover when shouting. All right, this is audio recovered when shouting. All right, it should be recorded properly whenever possible. Here are some things you can do to improve the quality. All right, recording supporting ambience. So when we talk about ambience, we're talking about the kind of things that happen in the background. All right, when you are taking up your recordings. Okay, now in order to get your recording support ambience, these are certain things you must observe. You need to be what? Be quiet. All right, quietness is highly essential. All right. Don't refill the all right. Don't refill through your camera bag when you hit record on a locked off shot. All right. Okay. You need to note that you need to be as quiet as possible. So we have all right, camera held mic, and all right, we also have are we on the same page? Okay. So we have the handheld as well. Handheld, handheld mic. Okay. Camera mic. We also have the handheld mic. Okay. Okay. So we have for dialogue. Please note that for dialogue. Okay. So for the ambient, all right, you need to ensure that the environment is quiet. Recording supporting ambience. Speaking of the background, all right, of your recording. Okay, so we have that as that. You have to zip it. Okay, you have to what? Zip it when doing this recording. All right, you have to zip it when taking this recording. Okay, so we also have the just a moment. Let's take a step further. Recording room tone. All right, room tone is a dialogue-free recording. All right, room tone is a dialogue-free recording. All right, dialogue. All right, free recording. It requires no ambience. All right, it is a dialogue-free recording that requires no ambience. I think I should write this clearly. All right, dialogue free recording that requires no ambience at all. Okay, that is the room recording tone. The best time to record room tone is immediately after you are finished the dialogue recording, so it sounds the same as the ambience behind the one camera dialogue. All right, it is important to record with the same mic in the exact same position. So we have that as that. Now let's take it. Okay, that was the thing from the network. I think we are back now. So now we have recording environmental ambience. Environmental ambience anchors the entire sound mix. It does what? Anchors the entire sound mix. It anchors the entire sound mix. Okay, it will be in the final stereo mix, the entire length of the finished production. Then we have environment ambience. So now let's quickly talk about sound equipment. Okay, sound recording equipment. We have the likes of audio console, all right, the patched bay, all right. We also have the analog and digital tape based and tape-less audio recording system. All right, these are very important equipment. Okay, now speaking of the audio consoles, all right, regardless of individual designs, whether analog or digital, all audio consoles or audio control boards are built to perform five major functions. All right, so under the equipment, we have audio console. One, two, three, four, five. all right, to perform 5 major functions. These are: one, input. Okay, we have input, we have mix, we have control, we have output and monitor. Here we have input, we have control. Okay, no, before control we have mix. When there's an input, there's a mixing. All right, input, mix, control. All right, input, mix, control, output. Okay, we have output, we have monitor. Okay, we have input, we have mix, we have control, we have output, we have monitor. So we have that as that. So just like we have input, select, pre-amplify, and control the volume of various incoming signals. Control volumes of incoming signals, you amplify, you set to correct. Mix, combine and balance 2 or more incoming signal. All right, control incoming signal. All right, here you balance. All right, 2 or more incoming, balance 2 or more incoming signals. Control, you manipulate the sound. All right, manipulate the sound. All right, the sound characteristics. Then the output, route the combined signals to a specific output. All right, so this is more like giving us of what you have produced. All right, you route to specifics. All right, all the signals you receive, you route it, then you give it out, all right, to the audience. Then we have monitor, route the output of specific sound to a speaker or headphone. All right, this is where you use speakers slash headphone when you route the output to a speaker or headphone. So, all right, so there's something called patch bay. All right, the primary function of patch bay or patch panel is connecting and routing audio signals to and from various pieces of equipment. All right, we have the patch bay. Okay, the responsibility of this is to what? The primary function of the patch bay or patch panel is connecting and routing. All right, connecting and routing audio signals to and from various pieces of signal, all right, or equipment, I mean to say. So we have that as that. Now we have the audio control in the studio. What is the audio control in the studio like? Most audio, all right, booths are separated from the program control section in close proximity. All right, so audio stations, all right, stations set aside, stations set apart for audio, all right, is usually, all right, separated from the program control section. All right, don't forget we talked about the control section, which has most of all the mechanical, right, control things. So some provide visual access to the studio. All right, when walking into the audio booth, you will probably be surprised by the varieties and complexity of audio equipment. Speaking of audio booth, we're talking about where all audio, all right, signal receiving and signal giving equipment are installed. All right, you'll definitely be surprised by varieties of this complexity and this equipment, especially because we are generally all right, aware of the audio aspect of television unless something goes wrong. Now, let's talk about the visual control booth. All right, the audio control booth houses the, all right, the audio console. All right, so we have audio control booths. All right, handles the audio or mixing console. Okay, the audio or mixing console. That is the responsibility. All right. Now we have that as that. So let's take a step further. So now, learning basic audio product operation. Learning to operate all audio equipment takes time and practice. A fortunate thing is that in most studio production, your audio consists mostly of making use, all right, of the voice of the news anchor or panel guests that have acceptable volume levels and are relatively what free to what extraneous noise, free of strenuous noise, and that the sound appear with pictures when video recordings are played. Now, what you need to understand about audio operation is that it takes practice, all right? And the way things are these days is not as tedious or stressful as it used to be. There are equipment, all right, to enhance these processes, all right? Equipment and strategies used to, all right, enhance these strategies. So now, consequently, we need to talk about, all right, what we refer to as okay. Now we are back now. So let's just go straight into it. Okay. So we have the likes of audio system calibration, basic audio operation. Okay, basic audio, basic audio operation. Okay. So I think we should call it wrap here for today. And in our next class, we'll take it off from here, and we'll be talking about the basic audio. All right, basic audio operation. Okay, I think we still have about 3 minutes to go. Let's just quickly take advantage of that. Now, what are the basic audio operations? We have the likes of okay, we have the likes of audio system calibration. Now, to calibrate a system is to make all right, all the VU meters. All right, we're talking about the audio console and record VTR. All right. Now we're talking about calibrating a system, audio system calibration. We are simply talking about using the VU meters to respond in the same way a specific audio signal, meaning that the the audio meters and the control tone are on the same frequency. Now, note that audio calibration has nothing to do with the zoom calibration. All right. These are the things we need to note here. So, what are the steps in audio calibration? Okay. Now, let's see that audio calibration system again. All right. Audio calibration system. I beg your pardon. Audio system calibration. Okay. So now, to calibrate a system is to make all VU meters. All right. Usually, when we say VU meters, we are referring to the audio console and the record VTR. All right. When you make the VU meters respond the same way to specific audio signals. Respond the same way to what specific okay audio signals. Now, this involves some processes. Here, the very first step you need to do is that with all faders on the console or mixer turned all the way down, activate the control tone, which is either a a what continuous tone or an intermittent beep. Now, most professional audio console mixer have such tone generator built in. All right, calibrating brings up the master fade on the console or mixer to what we refer to as the mark. Okay, so we have that as that. So let's just take a step further. I don't want us to rush into this, so we're going to call it wrap here for today. All right, we're going to call it wrap here for today. Then in our next class, we take our time to break things down properly. All right, I think the breaking down might not be sufficient here because we're just trying to see how we can cover up and move some certain at a moderate and certain pace. All right, but in our next class, we do well to ensure to break things down properly. Thank you very much, everyone. I believe you'll be able to gain something in today's class. Do have a wonderful evening and bye for now.